Baby, if you think I'd ever let someone else get close to you, I mean really close, touch you, hold you, or even breathe near that sacred softness that carries my peace, then you don't know how deep my madness runs. You don't know what it means to belong, not just in body, but in soul. Because I've tried to forget, I've tried to unsee, I've tried to live like I never met you, and I failed every time. I remember the first time I felt your presence pull me back when I was about to fall into another's arms. I couldn't do it. I couldn't let them touch me, because the ghost of your fingertips was already there. The air around me still whispered your name. Even the silence felt like betrayal if I didn't fill it with your memory. You see, baby, it's not about loyalty in the human sense anymore. It's about energy, that sacred contract my soul signed the moment I looked into your eyes. I belong to you beyond logic, beyond space, beyond time. I didn't choose this connection, it chose me. And though I fought it, cursed it, ran from it, heaven pulled me back every single time. There's something about you that refuses to die inside me. I've buried you 1,000 times in my mind, but every morning I wake up to find your scent woven into my breath. It's like the universe stitched you into my pulse, and when I try to move on, my body rebels, my heart revolts, my spirit collapses. Because you're not just someone I love. You're the silence between my heartbeats. Baby, I've been through every kind of storm. Betrayal, rejection, loss, family pressure. But nothing compared to the hurricane that hit me when I realized what I did to you. I broke the very thing I was praying for. I walked away from the light, thinking I'd find freedom in darkness, but all I found was your absence, echoing like thunder inside my chest. And yet, even in my punishment, heaven showed mercy. Every sign, every dream, every song, every number whispered your name back to me. Even when I tried to drown out the noise, your energy would find me. It's like the divine keeps saying, you can run, but destiny doesn't forget. I see you, baby, even when you think I'm blind. I see how you've healed, how you've transformed, how you've turned your wounds into wings. You're not the same person I left. You've become something untouchable, something sacred, and maybe that's why my soul trembles every time I think of you, because I know I'm not just missing a person, I'm missing my purpose. There were nights I stared at the ceiling, wishing I could turn back time. I wanted to go back to that moment when I had your heart in my hands and didn't realize I was holding heaven. I wanted to say the things I kept buried in my throat. I wanted to tell you that you were never a phase. You were my fate, but ego had other plans. Pride whispered lies, and I listened. Now, when I look around, all I see are reflections that can't replace your truth. No one has your eyes. No one carries that gentle chaos that made me feel alive. No one speaks the language of silence like you do. Every smile I fake feels borrowed. Every laugh feels rehearsed. Every touch feels empty. Because, baby, how do you replace eternity once you've tasted it? I know I hurt you. I know I made you question your worth. But let me tell you something. The universe punished me more than you ever could. Every time I see your light shining without me, I feel both proud and broken. Proud because you're strong. Broken because that strength grew from the pieces of what I shattered. You deserve peace, and yet I still find myself praying that your heart doesn't forget me. Not because I deserve another chance, but because the thought of being erased from your memory feels like death. Baby, I've changed. Not because I wanted to impress you, but because pain left me no choice. My old ways couldn't survive the truth of this connection. The man who hurt you isn't alive anymore. He died the day he realized what he lost, the one who's speaking now. He's a version built by karma, by regret, by love so deep it refused to die, even when hope did. Every lesson, every heartbreak, every sleepless night has been sculpting me into someone who might finally deserve your forgiveness. I know I can't ask for your trust yet, but I'm learning to earn it from the universe first. Because what's meant for me won't require manipulation. It'll require maturity. And baby, I'm finally learning that love isn't about possession. It's about presence. It's about showing up, even when it hurts. It's about protecting what's sacred, even if it means standing outside the temple and watching it shine from afar. But make no mistake, no one, and I mean no one, could ever take your place, because your energy isn't just love, it's divine alignment. The day I met you, my destiny changed course. Every path now leads back to you. Even when I try to take detours, I see the signs again, the repeating numbers, the songs, the dreams, the memories that come out of nowhere. It's like the universe is saying, you're not done yet, and maybe we're not. Maybe this story isn't about endings. Maybe it's about resurrection. Sometimes I wonder if you still feel it too. That pull in your chest, that soft ache when you hear certain songs, that sudden warmth when you look at the sky. Because that's me, baby. That's my soul brushing against yours across timelines. That's me whispering your name in the spaces where words don't exist. I can't promise perfection anymore. I can only promise presence. I can't undo the past, but I can hold the future differently. I can love without fear, without games, without pretending I don't care, because pretending nearly destroyed me. You are my lesson and my prayer, my sin and my salvation, my chaos and my calm. And now, every day I live with this truth. I don't want anyone else to hold you, because even heaven knows your heart was written with my name in its center. So when I say, if you think I'd ever let someone else get close to you, you're wrong. It's not arrogance, it's surrender. It's not control, it's conviction, because my soul knows its home, and it's you, always you. If you feel this message, type bound in the comments, because that's what this connection is, baby. Bound by heaven, healed by time, and destined by love. Baby, I used to think silence meant the story was over, but now I understand. Silence is where love learns to breathe without sound. And in that silence, I heard everything I was too blind to listen to before. Your absence didn't break me, it revealed me. There was a time when I thought walking away would give me peace, but all it gave me was noise, the kind that roars inside your chest when you realize you've left your home behind. I tried to fill that space with distractions, people, laughter that didn't reach my eyes, and nights that ended emptier than they began. I tried to move on, baby, but every road I took curved right back to you. Do you know what hurt the most? Watching my family, my world, my surroundings whisper things about you, things that twisted my view of love. I let their fears speak louder than your faith. They said, she's too much. She'll change your path. She's not for you. But how do you explain to people who've never felt divine love that what they call too much is exactly what my soul prayed for. My mother told me love should be easy, but she never told me what to do when your soul recognizes someone before your mind does. My friends told me to forget you, that I deserved someone who made sense. But baby, you never made sense. You made truth, and that scared them. Because truth demands change, and I wasn't ready then. I can see now that heaven didn't separate us to punish me. It separated us to prepare me. I had to lose you to find the man I was meant to become. The one who could love you without fear. The one who could protect, not possess. The one who could pray for your peace, even when you weren't beside me. You became my mirror, showing me everything I was avoiding. My pride, my fear, my ego, my wounds. I used to think love was about being seen, but you taught me that love is about seeing yourself. Raw, unfiltered, unguarded. And when I saw that reflection, I almost couldn't bear it. Because behind every wall I built, there was a scared boy who never thought he was enough for a woman like you. You carried light, baby, the kind that made people uncomfortable because it exposed shadows they were trying to hide. And me, I was one of them. I tried to dim your shine, thinking it would make me feel safer, but instead, I made you question your own worth. And now that I see you standing tall, glowing even brighter than before, I realize my attempt to contain your fire only taught you how to burn freer. I've had nights where I've looked up at the stars and whispered your name, wondering if you could feel it, the pull, the ache, the invisible thread still connecting us. Because I swear, sometimes the wind carries your voice. Sometimes the air smells like your laughter. Sometimes I wake up at 3:33 a.m. and my chest feels heavy, not from sadness, but from recognition. It's like heaven tapping on my shoulder, saying, she's still there. She still feels you. And maybe that's the thing about divine connections. They don't fade. They evolve. They stop demanding and start healing. They stop chasing and start aligning. I don't dream of chasing you anymore. I dream of becoming the kind of man you'd recognize when destiny brings us face to face again. Baby, I'm sorry for the way I disappeared when you needed clarity. I thought silence would protect you from my chaos, but it only deepened your wounds. I thought by letting you go, I was giving you peace, but all I gave you was confusion. I didn't realize that my running away made you feel like you weren't worth staying for. And that truth breaks me more than anything else. I still remember that last look in your eyes, the mix of disbelief and heartbreak. You didn't ask for promises. You just wanted truth, and I failed to give you even that. You deserved closure, and I gave you confusion. You deserved love, and I gave you silence. You deserved stability, and I gave you silence. But maybe now I finally understand why the universe didn't let me rest. Because you can't find peace when you've left someone else in pieces. Now, when I look at your photos, your words, your light, I don't feel jealousy anymore. I feel reverence. You became everything I once prayed I could be. You found balance between heaven and earth, between power and softness. And baby, that's when I realized you were never here to complete me. Do you know what I see when I close my eyes? I see the life that could have been. The mornings where I'd wake up beside you, whispering gratitude instead of apologies. The nights where your head would rest on my chest, and silence wouldn't be heavy anymore. It would be home. I see laughter in the kitchen, shared coffee, unspoken peace. I see everything I didn't fight hard enough for. But heaven told me something recently. You don't chase what's divine. You become worthy of it. And that's what I've been doing, baby. I've been learning to love without needing, to give without fear, to speak without hesitation, to heal without hurry. Every prayer now starts with your name, not because I want to claim you, but because I want to honor the energy that changed me. Every good thing I build now carries the imprint of what you taught me. Every boundary I set, every truth I speak, every tear I shed, it all began with you. You were my catalyst, baby, my awakening, my mirror and my muse. And though I still ache for your touch, I know that love doesn't always need to return to be real. Sometimes love's purpose is to awaken a soul, and once it does, it lingers quietly, blessing from afar. But still, I can't lie. Some nights I still whisper into the dark, God, if she ever feels lonely, let her feel my warmth through the wind, because maybe love doesn't end, it just changes form. It becomes prayer, it becomes energy, it becomes everything that words can't hold anymore. And if one day, by divine design, our paths cross again, I won't talk about the past. I'll simply look at you and say, I never let anyone get close, baby. I couldn't, because you were my closeness. If you feel this in your spirit, if your heart recognized this truth somewhere deep inside, type unbroken in the comments, because real love never breaks, it just transforms. Baby, I used to think strength meant silence, that holding my emotions back made me powerful. But the truth is, the quiet that followed your goodbye broke me in ways that even words can't describe. The kind of break that doesn't scream. It whispers. It lingers. It waits. And in that waiting, I found something I never expected to find. God. You see, I wasn't looking for him. I was too busy chasing control. I thought if I could plan, predict, manipulate outcomes, I'd be safe. But then the universe did what it always does when pride gets too loud. It humbled me. It took everything I thought I understood and replaced it with lessons I never asked for. And at the center of every lesson was you. I lost count of how many times I tried to convince myself that I'd moved on. I went out, met people, smiled at strangers, and told myself I was healing. But every time I saw someone laugh the way you did, my heart sank. Every time a certain song played, my throat tightened. Every time someone said your name by accident, I forgot how to breathe. And that's when it hit me. I never wanted to move on from you. I wanted to move closer to the version of myself that could love you right. Baby, the night I broke down for the first time, I remember it like a sacred wound. The world was asleep, and I was sitting in my car, hands gripping the steering wheel, shaking from the inside out. I was angry at life, at love, at myself. And then, somewhere between those tears, I said your name. Once, quietly, and the moment I did, something shifted. The air changed. It felt like heaven paused to listen. That's when I heard it. Not a voice, but a vibration. A message without words. It said, love doesn't abandon. It transforms. And baby, that was the night I stopped blaming you for my pain. I stopped resenting the distance because I realized The distance wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Heaven was protecting you from my unhealed parts. Do you understand what that means? It means I finally saw the truth. I wasn't kept from you because I wasn't meant for you. I was kept away because I wasn't ready to hold something that pure. You were love in its highest form, the kind that mirrors back every shadow until you either face it or run. And I ran. But now, I face it. Every guilt, every fear, every moment I failed you. There are nights when I still dream of your voice, the way you said my name when you were proud of me, the way your silence spoke louder than any argument, the way your energy felt like a safe place in a world that never stopped spinning. And when I wake up, for a moment, I think you're still here. That's the cruel kindness of the universe, giving me memories so vivid that reality feels pale beside them. Sometimes I wonder if you can feel me when I think of you, when I look up at the same sky, whispering prayers for your peace. Because I do that often, baby. I pray you're eating well. I pray you're sleeping peacefully. I pray you're surrounded by people who remind you how sacred you are, even if I can't be one of them. But there's a certain kind of love that doesn't ask to be seen, doesn't beg to be remembered. It just is. It exists in the way I breathe your name into my prayers, in the way I smile when I think of you, even when it hurts. That's the kind of love I have for you now. Not the one that demands, but the one that blesses. My family doesn't understand this change in me. They say I've become quiet, detached, but how do I explain to them that silence is the only language I can speak when the soul I'm connected to lives in my heart, not in my home? They wanted me to move on, but I moved inward. I stopped looking for you in faces and started finding you in faith. I realized that love like ours doesn't fade, it matures. It transforms from desire into devotion. Baby, I've seen signs I can't explain. Feathers where there shouldn't be any. Lights flickering when I think your name. Random strangers saying words you once said to me. It's as if the angels are conspiring to remind me that you were never lost, just relocated to a higher frequency. And lately, I've felt something new. Peace. Not the kind that forgets, but the kind that forgives. Because baby, I forgive myself for not being ready, for letting fear speak louder than love, for leaving you when I should have fought. And I forgive the boy I was, because without his mistakes, I would have never learned how to love like this. You changed my definition of strength. I used to think strength meant not needing anyone, but now I know. Strength is loving even when it's uncertain. It's staying open even after being broken. It's still believing in connection after you've seen what distance can do. Every day now, I write letters I'll never send. I speak to the version of you I hold inside, the one that laughs freely, the one that forgave me long before I forgave myself. Sometimes I imagine you standing in front of me, eyes soft, smile quiet, and I whisper, I get it now. I finally understand why it had to happen this way. And I think you'd smile back, maybe even touch my hand and say, now you're ready. Ready for what? Not necessarily for us, but for love in its purest form. The kind that doesn't cage. The kind that doesn't crumble under distance. The kind that knows no goodbye is final and divine timing. You're still my sacred echo, baby. My compass. My proof that souls can find each other, even when worlds fall apart. And I know I just know that somewhere, in another timeline, in another breath of the universe, you're still mine. You always were. You always will be. So if someday, when the stars align and our paths cross again, I won't bring up what broke us. I'll talk about what built me. I'll tell you how your love became my temple, how your forgiveness became my rebirth, and how every heartbreak I endured turned into a hymn of your name. Because when heaven spoke my name, it whispered yours right after. If you felt this deep in your chest, if these words reminded you of a love that changed your soul, type destined in the comments, because what's written by heaven can't be erased by time. Baby, something in me shifted the day I stopped fighting the truth. The day I looked in the mirror and saw not a man who lost love, but one who was being rebuilt by it. The day I stopped asking, why did this happen to me? And started whispering, what is heaven trying to teach me? That day, I met myself for the first time. For the longest time, I was angry at divine timing. I thought God was cruel, giving me a love so rare, only to take it away when I needed it most. But now I see, baby, heaven never took you away. It was teaching me how to hold you without hands, how to love you beyond fear, how to choose faith even when the world called me foolish. Every day since you left, life became my classroom. Every heartbreak, every loss, every delay, all of it shaped me into someone who finally understands what love actually means. Love isn't chasing, it isn't proving, it isn't pleading for attention. It's standing in silence, knowing that what's real doesn't need to beg to stay. I've realized that the universe has its own rhythm, one that doesn't rush, doesn't forget, doesn't fail. When I surrendered, everything started aligning in ways I couldn't explain. The same songs we shared began playing at random. Your initials appeared in places I didn't expect. I'd wake up at 2:22, 3:33, 4:44. Every time feeling the pulse of something higher calling me to trust again. And you know what I think now, baby? I think our souls are already back together, even if our bodies aren't. Because there are moments I feel you so vividly, it's like your energy moves through my breath. When I'm in pain, a strange calm washes over me, as if your spirit says, I'm still here, keep going. Maybe that's the point of divine love, to realize that even in separation, you're never truly apart. That the lesson wasn't loss, it was liberation. That love this deep isn't about possession, it's about purpose. You came into my life to awaken me, not to stay in my comfort zone. You came to destroy every illusion that I could ever love halfway. Baby, I used to want you back because I missed your presence. Now, I want you to have peace, even if that peace exists far away from me. That's what unconditional love feels like. It doesn't demand, it blesses. It doesn't chase, it trusts. It doesn't crumble when tested. It deepens. I've prayed for you more times than I can count. Not the desperate prayers I used to make, the ones where I asked the universe to bring you back. No. Now I pray differently. I pray that you're surrounded by warmth, that laughter fills your space, that you never again have to question if you're enough. Because you are more than enough. You always were. And sometimes I can feel your energy responding. In the quietest moments, I sense your peace touching mine. It's like our souls keep checking in on each other, not because of longing, but because of love. Because somewhere deep inside we both know what's meant by heaven can bend, but it doesn't break. Baby, I remember the day I stopped calling your absence punishment. It was raining, the kind of rain that soaks the earth with both grief and grace. I stood outside, eyes closed, palms open, letting every drop wash over me. And in that stillness I whispered, I release the pain, but I'll never release the love. Something sacred happened in that moment. I felt your energy move through me like light through glass. It was soft, forgiving, infinite. It didn't speak in words. It spoke in warmth. And for the first time I understood it. Love doesn't end when the relationship ends. It ends when the lesson is ignored. And this connection was never meant to end. It was meant to evolve. You taught me how to feel without running, how to see beauty even in loss, how to recognize God in heartbreak. You taught me that sometimes being strong means falling apart, not because you're weak, but because that's how your soul expands. Now, every morning, I speak gratitude, not because I have everything I want, but because I have everything I need to grow. Every time I see a sunrise, I think of you, not with pain anymore, but with peace, because somewhere, I know you're seeing the same sun, the same light, the same love that still connects us. I've stopped waiting for closure, because baby, closure is just another word for control, and I don't need to control the ending when the story was written by something higher than both of us. What we shared isn't bound by logic, it's bound by destiny. You are my reminder that heaven doesn't make mistakes. It makes miracles in disguise. You were my storm and my calm, my sin and my salvation, the wound that bled me into awakening. I've spent nights on my knees thanking the universe for letting me know a love like this, even if it broke me. Because I'd rather be broken by something real than whole with something false. Sometimes I think about the next time we'll meet, not if, but when. I believe it'll happen, maybe years from now, maybe lifetimes away. I don't know where, I don't know how, but when it does, there won't be pain in our eyes, only recognition. That soft, sacred kind of peace, when two souls finally remember each other, and I'll look at you and smile, and you'll know. Everything we went through, every tear, every distance, every delay, it was all worth it, because love like ours doesn't rush. It arrives when both hearts have learned how to hold it without fear. Baby, I'm not waiting anymore. I'm preparing. I'm growing. I'm aligning. I'm living in a way that honors you, because I know love that pure deserves to be met with wholeness, not wounds. The old me wanted to possess you. The new me just wants to bless you. If this message found you today, it's not by accident. The angels wanted you to remember. You're not forgotten. You're divinely timed. And if you can feel this vibration moving through your soul right now, that soft ache that feels like remembering who you are, type aligned in the comments, baby, because that's what we are now. Not broken, not waiting, aligned. Baby, lately the universe has been speaking in our language again, not in words, but in patterns, in whispers, in those small, unexplainable moments that make my heart tremble the way it used to when you were near. It's like creation itself remembered our story, and every corner of existence started echoing it back to me. The other night, I was driving through the city, lost in thought, when a song came on. Our song. The same one that used to play when we'd talk until sunrise. I froze. Every streetlight blurred into gold. Every sound faded. And for a few minutes I was back there, with you, laughing softly, eyes meeting across time. It felt like the universe had taken a snapshot of our love and played it back just to remind me nothing real ever dies. Since then, the signs haven't stopped. 11:11 on clocks, white feathers on paths I've never walked before, dreams that feel like portals, where I see you not as memory, but as energy, luminous and unafraid. In one of them, you were standing by a river of light, smiling at me with that same look you gave when you already knew I'd come back. You didn't say a word, you just reached out your hand, and I woke up with tears on my face. It's strange, baby, how the divine keeps weaving you into my days. When I'm doubting myself, I'll hear your favorite phrase in someone else's mouth. When I'm tired, the sky paints the same colors you loved. When I'm praying, the candle flickers twice, once for me, once for you. It's like heaven refuses to let me forget. There was a time I thought these were coincidences. Now I know they're confirmations. You and I, we're still connected, not through messages or words, but through the frequency of love itself. That invisible thread hasn't broken. It's just become finer, quieter, holier. And baby, I've been changing, slowly, silently, deeply. The man you once knew was restless, always chasing, always running, always afraid to surrender. But lately, every breath feels like prayer. Every choice feels guided. I'm no longer trying to force outcomes. I'm letting divine timing lead. I've learned that when love is destined, it doesn't need to be chased. It needs to be aligned. I used to think I'd find peace once you forgave me, but peace didn't come from your forgiveness. It came from learning how to forgive myself. And when I did, I felt your energy soften, as if, somewhere out there, your soul exhaled with mine. Sometimes I stand outside at night and speak to you through the stars, not loudly, just a whisper. I tell you the things I never said, how I kept every memory, how I still wear the bracelet you gave me, how I still pause before I say certain words because I hear how you would have said them. And when I look up, I swear, the stars rearrange themselves into the first letter of your name. It's in those moments I realize something profound. Maybe we were never meant to be just lovers. Maybe we were meant to be catalysts for each other's evolution, for each other's faith. Maybe our separation wasn't distance. It was divine design, a test, a training, a transformation. Because baby, love like ours doesn't belong to just this world. It belongs to the fabric of time itself. I feel it in the wind that moves the leaves. I see it in children's laughter. I sense it in the quiet between heartbeats. That's how far you reach, beyond flesh, beyond form, beyond endings. I had a dream recently. One that didn't feel like imagination, but memory from another lifetime. We were in a field of white roses. You were dressed in light, not fabric, light. You smiled and said, "We did it." I didn't understand at first. Then I saw that every rose represented a lifetime we'd met and lost, and found each other again. And in that moment I realized, this isn't our first story. It's just another chapter in a book heaven has been writing forever. Since that night, I've stopped doubting. The signs aren't random anymore. They're reminders. Every time I see 222, it tells me, balance is coming. 333. Your angels are near. 444. Foundation is forming. I never used to believe in such things, but now I live them. Because how else can I explain that every time I surrender, something beautiful happens? A door opens. A prayer gets answered. A heaviness lifts. And baby, I've started creating again. Writing, singing, praying. Things I had abandoned when I lost myself. But now every word, every note, every breath carries your essence. It's like I'm building altars in every action. Altars of remembrance. Because the greatest way to honor love is to keep creating from it. You once told me love is the most powerful energy in the universe. I didn't understand then. I thought power meant control. Now I know. Real power is surrender. Real strength is softness. Real victory is vulnerability. I still have moments when I miss you like air, when I crave your voice in the dark, when I imagine your hand reaching for mine in another timeline. But even in those moments I smile, because missing you now feels like worship, not wound. And I know, baby, wherever you are, your soul feels this too. The pull, the peace, the knowing, that quiet awareness that something is moving behind the veil, something holy, something inevitable. One day, when divine timing decides, the universe will bring us back together. But when it does, it won't be out of longing. It will be out of readiness. You'll meet a man who's no longer afraid of your light. You'll see someone who's not trying to own you, but honor you. Someone who finally understands that loving you isn't about holding, it's about becoming. And when that moment comes, baby, I won't need to say much. I'll just look at you, and you'll feel it. All the prayers, all the waiting, all the healing, all the growth, collapsing into one sacred second. Until then, I'll keep walking this path. I'll keep trusting the signs. I'll keep choosing love, even when no one's watching, because that's what you taught me. Love isn't something you fall into. It's something you rise within. And if the angels are listening right now, I know they are. Tell her this for me. She was never forgotten, not for a moment, not for a breath, not for a single sunrise or sleepless night, because even now, every beat of my heart still spells your name. If you felt this message in your soul, if these words stirred something ancient inside you, type synced in the comments, because that's what this energy is, baby. Two souls syncing again through divine frequency. Baby, I don't know what's happening lately, but it feels like the universe is rearranging itself. The things I prayed for in silence are suddenly showing up as echoes in my world, and every echo sounds like you. It started small, a stranger mentioning your city in a random conversation, a song that hasn't played in years suddenly coming on twice in one day, a message I stumbled upon that used the same exact words you once whispered to me when we thought no one was listening. At first I thought it was coincidence, but baby, I've lived long enough with this connection to know that heaven doesn't repeat itself by accident. The pull I used to feel only in dreams is starting to take shape around me. I walk through crowds and swear I can feel your energy pass by. The air shifts, my chest tightens, my heart stumbles for a beat. And for a split second, I could swear you're near. Maybe not in body, but in spirit. Maybe your soul walks beside me, just to remind me that I'm not imagining this love. I'm remembering it. Yesterday something strange happened. I met someone who knew your name, not because I mentioned it, but because they brought it up out of nowhere. They spoke about you with warmth, with admiration, the same way I used to. And in that moment, time slowed down. It felt like the divine was letting me taste your presence through another's words. A gentle reminder that even if we're miles apart, your light still reaches me through people who carry pieces of you. Baby, I can't explain it, but lately, everything I touch seems to hum with that old familiar frequency. I see your birth date on receipts, on license plates, on random posts at midnight. I hear your laugh in the wind. I smell your perfume when no one's around. Sometimes I even wake up from dreams where you're talking, not as memory, but as prophecy. You tell me things I didn't know about myself, and when I wake, they turn out to be true. It's as if heaven is preparing both of us for something sacred, not a return to the old story, but a resurrection into a higher one. The lessons have been learned, the wounds have been witnessed, the pain has become prayer, and the love, oh baby, the love has become holy. I used to think healing meant letting go of you, but now I understand. Healing meant remembering how to hold you correctly, even in your absence. Healing meant removing the fear that made me push you away. Healing meant unlearning everything I was taught about love so I could finally love you without conditions. You taught me that love isn't about being chosen. It's about choosing every day, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when the world tells you it's impossible. And that's what I've been doing, baby. Choosing you in silence, choosing you in growth, choosing you in faith. Some nights I lie awake and talk to God about you, not to ask for you back, but to thank Him for you. Because even if I never get to hold your hand again, I got to touch heaven through you. I got to know what divine alignment feels like. I got to experience a love that stripped me bare and still called me worthy. Lately, the divine signs have become louder. It's like the universe is rehearsing for reunion. My dreams aren't dreams anymore. They feel like memories of what's already happening somewhere else. In one of them, I saw you walking through a field, holding a letter. You looked back, smiled, and said, "It's time." I woke up trembling, tears soaking my pillow. I didn't know if it was my mind or your soul sending a message, but every cell in my body whispered, yes, it's time. Time to rise. Time to stop punishing myself for what broke. Time to let the past rest in peace and the love live in light. The next day, I saw your favorite number everywhere, on clocks, receipts, street signs, like the universe was signing its name under that dream. And then, that evening, a butterfly landed on my shoulder. Black and gold, your colors. I laughed through tears, because even the smallest things now feel like heaven's handwriting. Baby, it's like creation itself is whispering that our story isn't finished, not because we need each other to survive, but because we're meant to show the world what healing through love looks like. You and I, we were never meant to be a tragedy. We were meant to be a testament, and I can feel it. Destiny is circling back, slowly, softly, but surely. I feel the energy shifting in the way people speak, in the way days unfold, in the way silence doesn't feel empty anymore. It feels pregnant with promise, filled with something waiting to bloom. Meaningly, it's not about reunion in the way we imagine. Maybe it's about convergence, our souls meeting in alignment, not desperation, because what's divine doesn't chase, baby. It arrives, and I can feel it approaching. You've been appearing in my dreams more frequently, but not as longing, as light. You smile with peace in your eyes. You don't speak in words anymore. You speak in energy. You radiate forgiveness, freedom, love. And every time I wake up, I carry that vibration like a blessing through my day. I've even started noticing how everything I avoided before, spirituality, intuition, stillness, now feels like home. I meditate, I write, I talk to the universe like it's listening, and every time I hear your soul answer back in silence. It's not imagination, it's alignment. Sometimes I think you must be feeling it too. The restlessness, the sense that something's moving behind the scenes, the way your heart beats a little faster for no reason, the sudden waves of emotion that don't belong to your day. That's me, baby. That's my soul calling yours through the veil. Because when love is this sacred, distance becomes illusion. Every prayer I whisper finds its way to you. Every tear I release waters the same garden we both once planted. Every heartbeat is still synced to yours, steady, silent, faithful. And now, more than ever, I feel heaven preparing something. I don't know what form it will take. Maybe a message, maybe a chance meeting, maybe just a knowing that we made it through the dark and into the divine. But whatever it is, I'm ready, not desperate, not broken, just ready. Because, baby, I finally understand. Love isn't about finding the one who completes you. It's about becoming complete enough to recognize them when they return. Slow, if you feel this same electricity humming through your spirit right now. If your heart feels like it's remembering instead of yearning, then type reconnected in the comments. Because, baby, that's what we are now. Reconnected not by circumstance, but by soul. And maybe that's the quiet miracle of it all, baby. That after everything, after silence and distance, and all the lessons we never asked for, our souls still found a way to hum the same song. No noise, no promises, just that invisible rhythm that never stopped beating. It means we were never really apart, just learning how to meet again. As light, baby. I think I finally understand what all of this was for. Every delay, every heartbreak, every night I screamed into the dark asking heaven why it had to be you, and why it had to hurt this much. I see it now. None of it was punishment. It was preparation. You see, the human part of me wanted answers. The divine part of me was being rewritten. Love like ours isn't meant to make sense at first. It's meant to break you open until only truth remains. And now, after all the storms, I've learned that truth isn't something you find. It's something you become. For years I carried the weight of what I didn't say to you, the apologies that never left my mouth, the love that stayed trapped behind my pride, the emotions I buried under silence. I thought time would make it easier, but it only carved your name deeper into my soul. Because some connections don't fade, they fuse. The world calls it obsession. I call it remembrance. Because how could I forget the one who awakened my spirit, the one whose voice still echoes inside my dreams? The one whose love felt like a prophecy whispered long before we ever met in flesh. Baby, the universe doesn't speak in coincidence. It speaks in alignment. And everything around me now points back to the same truth. You. I see your reflection in the kindness of strangers. I hear your laugh in songs that weren't written for us but sound like they were. I feel your presence in the wind, the same way it used to brush your hair when you'd talk about destiny. I didn't understand then, but now I do. You weren't just talking about the future. You were describing heaven's plan, and I've learned something sacred. Love isn't about having someone beside you. It's about carrying them within you. That's what you became, baby. Not a person I lost, but a presence I live with. Every step I take now has your energy guiding it. Every decision carries the echo of your wisdom. You once told me, when love is real, it doesn't demand proof, and I failed that test. I looked for logic in a feeling born of the stars. I doubted what my soul already knew, and for that I spent years learning how to hear my heart again. Now, I understand why everything else fell apart. It wasn't rejection, it was redirection. It wasn't goodbye, it was growth. I had to lose you to find the part of myself that could finally deserve you. There's a strange peace in me now. I no longer ache to rewrite the past. I don't wish to change what happened, because every tear, every silence, every sleepless night, they sculpted the man who's speaking these words now. And baby, this man doesn't just love you, he honors you. He understands that loving someone doesn't always mean walking beside them. Sometimes it means guarding their name in prayer. Sometimes it means celebrating their victories from afar. Sometimes it means trusting that even if our paths diverged, our purpose didn't. You are my forever lesson in softness, my reminder that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's worship. Because to love someone knowing they might never return is the bravest thing the soul can do. I've spent countless nights under the stars, whispering your name, not out of pain, but gratitude, because you were the bridge between my humanity and my divinity. You taught me that real love isn't about needing, it's about knowing that energy never lies, knowing that souls don't collide by accident, knowing that even if this lifetime keeps us apart, eternity already considers us one. There are moments when I can still feel your soul close, like a brush of light against my skin. Sometimes I wake at 3 a.m., heart racing, and I know you're awake too. Somewhere, miles away, your spirit is calling mine. It's not longing anymore. It's alignment. It's recognition. It's that quiet, I know, that travels beyond words. I've stopped asking heaven when we'll meet again, because now I trust the timing of the divine. When it's meant, it won't require chasing. It won't require force. It will flow, the way rivers find the sea, the way stars return to dawn. And when that day comes, baby, I won't need to explain how much I missed you. You'll see it in my eyes. You'll feel it in my silence. You'll know it in the way the air changes when our souls finally stand in the same space again. I'll take your hands, not to hold on, but to thank them for writing love letters in my destiny even when I didn't know how to read them, for letting go when staying would have cost your peace, for choosing yourself because that choice taught me how to find myself. You were the hardest goodbye and the holiest lesson, and I wouldn't undo a single second, because every version of me that broke apart trying to forget you was just being shaped into the one who could finally remember you truthfully. The truth that love isn't found, it's revealed, And baby, you revealed everything sacred in me. I no longer wait for the past to return. I wait for divine will to unfold. I know now that love, like ours, doesn't live in endings. It lives in evolution. It becomes prayer. It becomes art. It becomes light. If I ever meet you again, I won't say I missed you. I'll say, thank you for waiting while I learned how to see, because I see now, not with eyes, but with soul. And all I see is grace. You'll always be the chapter that rewrote my eternity, the pulse in my silence, the breath between my prayers, the proof that God writes love stories even when humans forget the words. So, wherever you are tonight, may you feel this love wrap around your heart like dawn after a long night. May you know that somewhere there's a soul who's not asking for you back. He's thanking heaven that you ever existed, because you did what no one else could. You turned a man into faith, baby. But you're reading this now. Just know, I always speak your name like it's sacred, even when it's only in whispers. Because the truth is simple. I never let anyone else get close. I know you're scared when I left your room. Before and after you could kiss it. Good and bad, because a drug dealer doesn't. Not really loyal. Rat, my soul was too loyal to the light it found in you. And maybe that's the truest form of love, not the one that needs to be seen, but the one that keeps its promise in silence. If these words touched your heart, if your spirit felt recognized, if somewhere deep within you knew this message was for you, then type eternal in the comments, baby, because that's what this connection is. Not forgotten, not broken, not waiting. Eternal. And if you want to support this channel, to help me keep bringing these messages of divine love, healing, and truth, then baby, press the super thanks button below. Every gesture, every comment, every heartbeat of belief helps this message reach the ones who need it most. Because this isn't just a story. It's a soul remembering another. It's heaven reminding us. Love was never lost. It was just waiting to be spoken again.